The night of SummerSlam 2025 was already billed as one of the most anticipated events in recent WWE history, but nobody could have predicted just how much drama would unfold before the first punch was even thrown. The arena was packed to the brim, the air buzzing with the energy only a WWE summer spectacle can bring. Fans had been speculating for weeks about possible surprise appearances, and whispers about a Brock Lesnar return had reached a fever pitch. Still, nothing could have prepared them for the moment when that familiar, thunderous guitar riff hit the speakers, the lights dimmed, and the Beast incarnate emerged from the shadows after a 2-year absence. It was the kind of return WWE fans live for, unexpected enough to feel shocking, yet somehow inevitable given Lesnar's status as one of the most dominant and marketable names in professional wrestling. Standing at the top of the ramp, Lesnar looked as imposing as ever, his eyes locked on the ring where John Cena was waiting. Cena himself seemed taken aback, his jaw tightening as the reality set in. This was not a cameo. This was the return of an old rival, a man who had left destruction in his wake every time their paths crossed. But even with that brewing tension, the moment would take an unexpected turn that nobody saw coming. As Lesnar began his signature slow walk toward the ring, the pyrotechnics were timed to explode in sync with the beats of his entrance music. The first bursts went off without a hitch, loud, fiery blasts erupting on either side of the stage, the crowd roaring in response. Then, in the blink of an eye, something went wrong. A streak of sparks shot outward toward the left-hand side of the audience, cascading dangerously close to the front rows. Gasps turned into shouts as a section of the crowd flinched away, some covering their faces, others ducking instinctively. Security and crew members rushed to the area, and for a few tense seconds, the attention in the arena shifted entirely away from the ring. The music continued to play, and Lesnar, ever the unflinching professional, kept moving forward, though even he seemed to glance toward the commotion as he passed. By the time he stepped between the ropes, word was spreading among the ringside announcers and production staff that while no one had been seriously hurt, the malfunction had left a handful of fans shaken. The incident instantly drew comparisons to The Undertaker's infamous Pyro accident in 2010, where a misfired blast singed his jacket and nearly caused a serious injury. In WWE's long history of pyrotechnic spectacle, these moments are rare but always memorable for the wrong reasons. Backstage, tensions were high. A mishap during a normal show is one thing, but during the grand stage of SummerSlam, especially in the middle of one of the most high-profile returns in years, it was a disaster for WWE's production team. Reports later confirmed that the pyrotechnician responsible for that section of Lesnar's entrance was fired on the spot, a swift decision aimed at containing the fallout and sending a message about safety standards. But even as the production crew scrambled to address the aftermath, the narrative in the ring took center stage once again. Lesnar's towering presence across from Cena immediately reignited memories of their past wars. Cena, now in the twilight of his in-ring career, had been fending off a new generation of challengers, but the sight of Lesnar, bigger, meaner, and apparently hungry for dominance, was like staring down a ghost from his most grueling battles. Without a single word exchanged, the tension between the two legends filled the arena more powerfully than any pyro could. Cena stepped forward, eyes locked on Lesnar. The crowd alternated between "Let's go Cena" chants and thunderous cheers for Lesnar's return. Lesnar, in typical fashion, didn't rush. He smirked slightly, pacing in a slow circle before finally coming nose-to-nose with his old rival. The standoff stretched for long seconds, the kind of silence that makes 15,000 people feel like they're holding their breath. Then, without warning, Lesnar shoved Cena back a step. Cena didn't hesitate to respond, shoving him right back. The push quickly escalated into a brawl, fists flying as referees and officials poured into the ring to separate them. The altercation was short-lived, but the damage, at least from a storytelling perspective, was done. The seeds for an epic showdown were planted in front of a live audience and millions watching worldwide. Commentary teams were quick to hype the potential matchup, hinting that this could headline an upcoming premium live event, perhaps even as WWE's counter-programming to AEW's All Out in September. Social media exploded in real time, with hashtags like #Beast vs. Cena and #SummerSlamShock trending within minutes. Fans debated not just the implications of Lesnar's return but also the shocking pyro incident that preceded it. Clips of the sparks shooting toward the crowd were circulating on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram before the match following their segment had even begun. Backstage, reports suggest Lesnar was unfazed by the malfunction. Those who know him well have often remarked on his ability to block out distractions and focus on the fight ahead. Cena, meanwhile, reportedly checked on the fans in the affected area after the segment, a gesture that only added to his enduring reputation as one of WWE's most respected locker room leaders. The official WWE statement released after the show confirmed that no serious injuries had occurred and reiterated their commitment to the highest levels of fan and talent safety, but the firing of the Pyro technician showed just how seriously they were taking the lapse. From a business perspective, the entire sequence, both the return and the mishap, had the unintended effect of generating massive publicity. Wrestling fans are no strangers to dramatic entrances, but when real-life danger intersects with the scripted world of sports entertainment, the headlines write themselves. Within hours, mainstream sports outlets and even some news networks were covering the story, most framing it as Lesnar's shocking return overshadowed by Pyro chaos. For WWE, the challenge now is to ensure that the conversation moves from the accident to the upcoming Lesnar-Cena confrontation. Industry insiders are already predicting that the inevitable match between these two titans will be built as one of the marquee events of the year. Both men have storied histories in WWE. Lesnar, the former UFC champion and multi-time WWE World Champion whose sheer physicality makes him a once-in-a-generation athlete, and Cena, the face of the company for over a decade, a man whose resilience and crowd connection are unmatched. Their rivalry dates back nearly 2 decades, and each clash has carried its own unique intensity. Adding a layer of real-world controversy to the build-up, whether intentional or not, has only heightened fan anticipation. For the fans who were there in person, the night will forever be remembered as more than just another SummerSlam. They witnessed the raw unpredictability of live wrestling, where scripted drama can be upstaged by genuine, unplanned moments. Some will tell the story of the sparks that flew into the crowd. Others will remember the visceral electricity of seeing Lesnar and Cena share a ring again after years apart. And for WWE's creative team, this chaotic return might just be the catalyst for one of the biggest matches of the year. In the days following the event, discussions continued to swirl online. Some fans argued that WWE should tone down its use of pyrotechnics, citing past accidents as examples of unnecessary risk. Others defended the practice, noting that these big entrances are part of what makes WWE's presentation so unique and larger than life. Meanwhile, the focus on Lesnar and Cena's potential clash only grew, with fantasy booking scenarios flooding wrestling forums. Would they fight at the September PLE? Could it be a stipulation match, perhaps no holds barred, to play into Lesnar's destructive tendencies? Would Cena pull off one last big victory? Or would Lesnar cement his return with a dominant win? What's certain is that this storyline, born from a mix of scripted tension and real-life mishap, has reignited interest in WWE's main event scene. Lesnar's presence alone guarantees attention, but pairing him against a legend like Cena, especially after an incident that had the entire arena on edge, makes for a combustible combination. Whether by design or by accident, SummerSlam 2025 delivered one of the most talked-about moments of the year, and the fallout is just beginning. The road from here will be paved with promos, confrontations, and speculation, but if history is any indication, the eventual showdown will be nothing short of a spectacle. For now, the image of Brock Lesnar stepping through the smoke, sparks still hanging in the air, as he locked eyes with John Cena, is seared into the memories of fans everywhere, a reminder that in WWE, the line between the scripted and the unexpected is razor thin, and sometimes, the most unforgettable moments are the ones nobody plans.